Hello everyone, good morning. It's time to start the day. Grab your coffee, your favorite beverage, shine your light and light the way.
Well, good morning everyone. It's June 11th, 2025. This is how we're going to be doing the live stream today. It's a little bit hot, so I got my fan in front of me. I'm kidding. It is hot though. Oh my gosh, it is so hot. I had the fan in front of me because it's really, it's not hot. Let me take that back. It's not hot. It's very, very humid. It's crazy humid. And I was sweating just from walking from the other room to this room. So I actually closed my windows, put on my air conditioner, and I got my little fan here because, anybody who's postmenopausal, you'll understand. It could be like 40 degrees outside. Everybody's all bundled up. I'm in a t-shirt and shorts going, what? Oh, man. Yeah, actually, Katie's got it bad. It's like over 100 degrees there already. Yeah. Well, good morning, Annie. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Katie. It is good to see you guys this morning. I am so happy that you're here. Good morning, Kat. Hi, how are you? Long time no see, friend. I'm glad you're here. Anybody else I missed? I think I got everybody. Good morning. I am so happy you guys are here. It has been one heck of a... Oh, Shanita! Hello, Shanita. Shanita, I'm coming out of my hermit stage. Are you coming out of your hermit stage? Shanita and I were both just like, I don't want to deal with the world. Sonia, hello. How are you? Good to see you. So yeah, everybody's kind of rolling in here. But yeah, I guess, the summer sun has helped a lot in lifting my spirits and lifting my mood, the longer days. It's nice. It's so nice. And I've been spending a lot of time outside, a lot of time. I don't know if you guys are into shortwave radio or at all or not. I know I'm a big geek, so a lot of times the things I'm interested in, nobody else is. But I've been playing with my shortwave radio. This is a Texan PL368 shortwave radio. And at night I go outside and I have a big antenna set up that I attach to this antenna. And I listen to broadcasts from all over the world. 90% of them are religious. Okay. I have to give that caveat, but there's lots that aren't. In fact, I found a talk radio station. This might have been on AM actually, though, not shortwave, but I found a talk radio station that is liberal leaning that I really enjoyed listening to. So that's been very cool. Hi, Kelly. Kelly's here too. Hey, everybody. Wow, everybody's rolling in. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am so glad to see you guys. So, yeah, so I've been playing with my shortwave, and then I also got a scanner too, which I can listen to ham radio on. And, but being outside, just being outside has been so uplifting. So, this weight coming off of me, Oh my gosh. Oh, thank you. Annie's saying, please smash the like. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, please help me understand whether or not you like me. But actually it helps with the algorithm. So I do appreciate that. Kelly says, hi, Annie Bear and Jane and my dear Katie, group hug with Rachel. Thank you. Thank you. Jane is telling, Annie Bear, I'm wishing you a lovely day. Yes, and good luck with your dog. Oh my gosh. Our furry kids, right? Or feathery kids or scaly kids. I have a scaly kid too. But they're still like our kids, right? But yeah. So good morning. Coffee time. I'm very excited to tell you guys something The wood for our garage got delivered today. So as long as the weather holds out, hopefully they'll start building tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, Friday. So, and I got to tell you guys, once the garage is up, okay, the builders are doing half the work and we're doing half the work. Okay, we're putting all the siding on, we're putting in the insulation, we're doing the finishing work inside. We're doing a lot of work on this garage ourselves to save money, because as it is, this garage is almost $60,000. So we're trying to do as much as we can on our own to make it not $100,000 garage. So when that time starts, okay, I'm not sure that I'll be able to do my Wednesday live stream every week. I'm going to try. Okay. I'm definitely going to try, but I don't want to say positively, yeah, I'll be here, because it's a lot of work that has to be done. And Rick and I are doing most of it ourselves. So I'm happy to tell you that my knee is coming along very well. So that's good. Yeah. Good morning, Jenny. Jenny's here. Good morning. So everything is kind of falling into place as it should, to get all this done. And that's taking a load, because I'll be honest with you, this is stressing me out, just because I'm spiritual, just because I am, I'm a psychic medium, just because I am like deeply connected and shamanistic and doing all the things and meditating. That doesn't mean that stress doesn't affect me. Stress affects everybody, right? But I try not to dwell on the stress, and I'm trying as hard as I can to, sort of navigate through it without touching the oars, riding the flow without touching the oars, without trying to direct how this goes. And sometimes that's easy. Sometimes it's really hard, so everybody's still saying good morning, good morning, good morning. Jane says, I am in hermit mode. I'm walking up the mountain and finally, oh my gosh, I can't read for crap. I'm walking up the mountain and finding exactly who I am. I'm unmasking finally. Yeah. You know what? I feel like that's kind of happening to me too. I spent a lot of my life directing my path, directing my own path, manifesting what I wanted, achieving goals, taking a direction that I wanted without really consulting spirit. And I'm going exactly the opposite now. I'm really just leaving this in the hands of the universe and just trying to go with the flow, and turning that sometimes isn't easy. You know what I mean? I know you guys know what I mean, because you all are kind of in the same thing, Jenny is listening and packing for the next job. Where's the next job, Jenny, when you get a chance? Ugh, stress. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, we all need to pray for each other, because these are times that are weird, right? See, look at this. Strawberry full moon in Sagittarius. And I am a Sagittarius, by the way. I am a fire sign. Yeah. Stay in the flow and all will be great. That's what I'm saying. We need to do an angel show, Dolly. Okay. I don't know. You know who you really need to do an angel show with is Katie, because Katie is much more well-versed when it comes to angels. I'm pretty novice when it comes to angels, honestly. My angel is Metatron. Okay. That is the angel that I've connected with. It's really the only angel that I've had any kind of like experience with. So that's the angel that I lean on. I wonder why I couldn't sleep last night. Yeah, that full moon. I got all my cards like charging in the wind. All my windows are covered in cards. I'm charging everything. Everything's getting it this time. All my crystals, everything. Katie, my suitcase, which is now my my little medicine bag. My little medicine bag started off this big when I started. Now it's about this big. It's a crossbody bag. I'm not kidding. Teresa Ford, hello. It's good to see you. Teresa Ford's late. She's late for a very important date. Oh no. Cat resonates with Uriel. Yeah, I think everybody's got like an angel that they sort of resonate with if they're seeking that out, right? Not everybody seeks out angels. I didn't for a long time. It isn't necessarily a part of my spiritual path. But in a journey, in a meditation that I did, Metatron sought out me. So I was like, okay, you're part of the team. Thank you. Yes, you guys should do a show together. It should be, and you could do a show about angels. But I can talk about just about anything else, Jane. And if I don't know the subject, I'll just make something up. It'll be fine. No, I'm kidding. Jane had no choice. They surrounded her bed as a child. That's fascinating. You don't know if it's on your path or not? Well, I'll tell you what. If it is, they're going to show up. That's all I'm saying. That's what happened to me. That was my experience. Everybody has a different experience, right? But that was my experience. Did you guys notice I got new glasses? I feel like I kind of look like Harry Potter now. Maybe I should put a little lightning bolt on my head. But I got these. These are actually for I'm using them as sunglasses because they're transitional lenses. But I like on these glasses where my bifocal is. It makes it easier for me to see the chat. So that's why I'm wearing them today. Not just to show you guys, although I would do that too. Teresa says, for me, angels are all beings of light that are sort of outside of time. I call them all in because they are outside of time and can be everywhere always. I agree with that. And that's kind of how I feel about like the Norse gods, how I feel about my ancestors, because I can like sit down and I can call them in and I feel them come. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And of course, Metatron. So yeah, totally. Hey, I want to show you guys something. Well, first I'm going to read what you guys wrote. Let me get caught up here. I recently started calling on Archangel Raphael, Michael, Gabriel, Uriel. I can't say that word. Sand Fallon, Metatron with Mother. Oh, that is interesting. Maybe I need to start calling in more angels too, just to see what happens. Thank you for saying that they're cool glasses. I appreciate you. Sonia says, I didn't seek angels. Archangel Raphael came to me. Pretty profound experience. I bet that it was. Yeah, it was for me too. And I didn't see a person. I saw the Merkaba. Merkaba, however you say that. And I said, what is this? And I drew it out and I showed it to Katie. And she's like, oh, that's Metatron. That's why I'm saying you really need to talk to her. Thank you for saying my glasses are cool, you guys. There are several levels of angels and they are constantly around you and you have so many guardian angels. It would blow your mind if you could see them all. No, it doesn't blow my mind at all because I'm somehow still alive. That really is testament for me. Kat says, I used to live in a hut in the parking lot in an Episcopalian church, and they were very progressive. The pastor gave lessons in Buddhist meditation. They had a labyrinth. Oh, yes. I love walking meditation. That's my favorite. My favorite. So, yeah, that's cool. And, I've seen other churches that have had it. I've seen unity churches that have labyrinths. And there was even a Seventh-day, I think there's a Seventh-day Adventist Advent. How do you say that? Seventh-day Adventist. You know what I'm talking about? I think there's one here in Milwaukee that has a labyrinth as well that anybody can walk. I do too, Annie. I call my ancestors, I call my angels, and I call the landvitir, the spirits of the land, and the husvitir, which are the spirits of the home. So I think that maybe you would be able to appreciate that. Out of people who aren't Norse pagan, I think that you would probably appreciate that the most, because I do believe that Native American people recognize the spirits of the land, the spirits that are in everything, very animist, and that's how I am. Okay, so thank you. Merkaba. That spinning diamond QB blink, blink, blink thing. That's what I saw. Cat walked the labyrinth, and that's when Ural came to you. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I love that. Hey, Brenda, how are you? Good to see you. My angel came to me after I've been in meditation last week and told me his name was Ezra. I was blown away. Ezra. Whoa, that's cool. I have an angel book here somewhere. Is this it? Yes. Let me look up Ezra. Let's see what we can find out about Ezra. Ezra was a prophet in the Bible too, I think. Let's see if we have an Ezra. I don't have Ezra, but we can research that. I'm sure that there is a Ezra out there somewhere for us to find information on. But that's very cool, Ezra. Katie says the best way I can put it is, when it comes to angels, you are always in a very crowded room, and that's a dynamite blessing. Dynamite, yes. Adventist. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for being able to speak Dalinese and correct my English. Okay. We need to go to Manasseh sermon. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, I really want to go. And now I'm walking, so I can actually, theoretically do that. Well, the Vikings did come to America long before Columbus. You got that right. You're right. That's a good point. I mean, I'm sure that there was lots of sharing of ideas when it came to divinity between Native Americans and Vikings, because they're very different. But the one thing that they do have in common is the landvitir, the spirits of the land, and how important that is, and how sacred that is. I mean, I know in my area here, I've only got like 2 generations of my own people who have been put into the earth, right? And for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, there were Native Americans here who were traversing this land. So of course I'm going to venerate them. You know what I mean? I really am. Kat says, that's me. I'm an animist. I'm thinking of getting an animist tattoo when the money comes back. Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, I'm very animist. I am. Katie connects directly with Gaia. Gardening has been a great grounding experience. You doubt that you will find Ezra? Well, we'll have to look into that. Like I said, Ezra is a book in the Bible, correct? Right? It was a prophet. Ezra was a prophet in the Bible. So maybe there was some elevation of status that happened, and now the spirit is connecting, with Barbara. with Brenda. So yeah, I don't know. Well, Enoch is who became Metatron, correct? Or am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure. But Ezra died and died. But maybe there was an elevation of status there after death where perhaps that's where that connection is coming from, Google the name, it means helper. Oh, and that's very appropriate, right? I love that. Here's Katie. Katie is teaching us something that we need to remember. Columbus didn't really come to the Americas. You are absolutely right. Oh, and I'm no longer referring to the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of Americas. I am just calling it Frank. Hey, Barbara, how's it going? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. We were just talking about angels. Teresa says both are willing to tell and hear their stories without forcing that belief as well. Right. Because you gain wisdom. You really gain wisdom from opening yourself up and allowing yourself to understand other cultures and understand other beliefs, Doesn't necessarily mean that you need to like grab onto it, but my journey has been like a path of best practices, like picking up on best practices from different things that I've researched and incorporating it into my own spiritual belief. So really my spiritual belief is Daliism. And I think that a lot of people are like that. A lot of people have just their own thing going on, Enoch is Metatron. That's what I thought. Love the interesting conversation. I love talking about angels. I'm behind. I gotta go. Okay, well, thank you for stopping by, Brenda. I really appreciate you being here. I am like going down to the bottom here because I will never catch up to you guys. Me too. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, blah. Yes, me too. Frank, yes, Frank. The Gulf of Frank. I am just going down to the end here because I am like way behind you guys. Enoch is the only human to become an archangel without dying. It was his reward for being so perfect in his faith. He is the communicator of our prayers to the Creator. That's what gives Metatron pow. Yeah. Pow, pow. I think there are as many kinds of spirituality as there are people. How can there not be when we each define every thought through our own filter? That is so true. Yes, perspective is everything, right? Oh no. Oh my gosh. Oh, what is this? Okay. Yes. And Sandalfan? Is that how you say it? Walked the earth too. Okay. I have never heard that word before. I'm going to have to look that up later because I know nothing about Sandalfan. Nothing. I wanted to show you guys something. This is something I saw yesterday. Now, in the description of the live stream, there's a link to a video about the 7 grandfathers and their teachings. And I had never heard this before. I'm sure a lot of you guys have. Annie, you probably have for sure. Thank you for coming, Shanita. I love you. Mwah. Thank you, sister friend. We'll see you soon. Anyways, the 7 grandfathers. Apparently, and this was from the Ojibwa tribe, which is like a tribe that kind of filters into my area a little bit, the Ojibwe. And these people have this story or this account, this verbal account of a young boy who wanted to become a warrior. So I believe he went on a vision quest and he ended up talking to the 7 grandfathers. And if you know more about this, Annie, you can just chime in. But I watched this video, and the teachings of these 7 grandfathers really, it touched my heart, and I wanted to share it with you. So there is a link in the video description below that you can watch this video. It takes a little bit to get through it because it's very slow moving so that you can process everything. But I wanted to show you guys a little bit about this. Let me bring on the 7 grandfathers. Okay, so the 7 grandfathers, is there a way I can make myself tiny? Let me try this. There we go. The 7 grandfather teachings, okay. Each one of the 7 grandfathers is represented by an animal spirit. So the first one was beaver, and it was wisdom. The second one is bravery, courage, and that's represented by a bear. Honesty is represented by either the sabe or the raven or both. And the sabe is a Bigfoot type creature, and he represents honesty, standing tall in your integrity. Then we have respect, which is represented by the buffalo. And then we have truth, which is represented by the turtle. And the turtle one I want to read to you because this is really cool. And you guys can, I'll put the link to this also in the description after the fact if you guys want to go and read this article. But the turtle says, the teaching of truth is taught to us by the turtle. The turtle was here when all life was created and carries teachings related to the beginning of life on its back. There are 28, I don't know what that word is, scutes around the perimeter of a turtle shell. These represent the 28 days of a woman's menstrual cycle, which is key to the creation of life. And there are 13 scutes in the center of the turtle shell. These represent the 13 moons and the 13 times the earth circles the sun each year. So, of course, I have a turtle. Okay. Her name is Gaia. I had to go and check that. And you know, that's absolutely right. Isn't that crazy? But anyways, that blew my mind. Humility is represented by the wolf. You know, a wolf needs to be a part of a community and needs to be a part of a pack. A lone wolf is sick and alone and cannot grow because it's all by itself. So I thought that was neat. And then lastly, you have the eagle, which represents love. And the eagle brings all of the teachings together because the eagle can soar high, you know, high up in the sky and be close to the creator. And because the eagle can be close to the creator, you know, there's a wisdom exchange that happens there. And I just, oh my gosh, when I read this, I was just like, okay, this is something I need to spend some time meditating on, that I need to think about, because it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Oh, yes. They mentioned that in the article, that this is Turtle Island. Yes. Wow. Oh, Fatima's here. Fatima's here. Here we go. Hello. Good morning. I am so happy to see you. We were just talking about angels. You would have loved that conversation. But yeah, so you guys go check out the video or the article. I think it'll really touch your soul. There's so much deep wisdom in each one of those teachings. It really was eye-opening, and it touched my heart, and I'd really love for you guys to see that. And I promise you, I am not trying to steal or incorporate it. I'm not trying to take over somebody else's teaching. I am just floored by the wisdom, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it really touched my heart. So check it out. It's cool. It's cool. And I think it'll help you, like, if you're not already connected to the environment, I feel like it might help you guys connect with the environment. So definitely go check it out. Check it out. Oh, you know what I didn't read today? I didn't read a affirminator. So let's read an affirminator. Take the next one in line. And it is letting go. I don't dwell on the bad things that happened. I let things go because I have enough heavy things to carry around. And also, grudges aren't a great look. And I agree with that. So it is a picture of a camel, and he's just throwing things off his back. There wasn't a straw that broke this camel's back because the camel was like, I'm unloading it all. Letting it go. So that's cool. I like that. I like that very much. So, yeah. Jules is here. I didn't see you come in. Hi, Jules. My tribe is based in Belcourt, North Dakota. Ooh, neat. What is your tribe? Are you Native American? That is so interesting. Teresa's dad used to say that these fables were beautiful stories full of symbolism that helped to tell a truth. That is how I feel about, and I think that you're right. I don't know if I have it handy here, but the Havamal, which is like the teachings of Odin, a lot of it is common sense, but there's a lot of deep wisdom in there. Like, people when they're older, and they've accumulated a lot of trial and error experience throughout their life, come to realizations that they often pass down to the younger people in hopes that it'll help maybe make their journey a little bit easier, right? And I feel like a lot of myths and fables are, from that same ilk, which is pretty cool. Annie says, I am Swinomish, Sauk. I don't know how to say that, so I'm going to butcher it. Suatl, Sauk Suatl, Puyallup, and Nisqually, all tribes of the Pacific Northwest, and Irish. So we all should understand that Annie is probably not somebody that we want to piss off. I'm a little Irish too. Okay, Jules. Turtle Mountain Tribe. Chippewa. Oh, Chippewa. Awesome. I thought it was neat. I was talking to Katie about this. We have a celebration here in Milwaukee that is called Indian Summer. And it is where tribes from all over the Midwest come together and have a big powwow down by the lake, and everyone's invited, which is so cool. I've actually danced in powwows. I had the opportunity to. I was so excited when they offered us the chance to dance along with them, and it made me feel so connected, it made me feel so connected to the area, to the people, to the land, to the sky. It was really a magical, amazing experience. And I hope to do that again. And now that my knee's getting better, maybe I can. Cat is Iroquois. Not sure which tribe because their matrilineal and the mother line got broken. Oh, yes, the big drums and that feeling in your chest. Oh, and what you feel under your feet. You feel, I don't know. I'm when I was doing it and I was stomping my feet, I felt the spirits hearing us. Does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah, I felt that. Katie used to live in the land of the Modoc and the Klamath tribes when I lived in Oregon. I lived at Crater Lake National Park. Yeah. And it's amazing how I think that, like, it seems like every tribe has some of their own stories, but a lot of the stories are very similar. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the difference between the sagas, the Norse sagas of like Sweden and Norway and Iceland compared to the Germanic sagas. Very similar names. Some of the times things were a little bit different, but the truth, the essential truth, was identical. You know. I was taught it connected your heart space and grounding as one. Yes, that's exactly it. That is perfect, Jules. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. Currently, we are residing on Kalapoya land, and we have ancient kamas farms all over the part of the valley. Kamas? Ancient kamas farms. I don't know what that kamas is. Katie was born in the land of the Navajo, the Hopi, and the Zuni tribes. Annie's got to head out to the vet. Good luck with your puppy, and I will say a prayer for the puppy. It's a full moon, so be gentle with yourselves and others. I'm going to do my best. Yeah, I will. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Rosie. Yes, Rosie. Oh, Rosie. I hope Rosie's okay. Amazing to have that connection. Yeah. Yeah, Katie's. I've spent my entire life here in Milwaukee, you know. So we have several different tribes here. Potawatomis are here. The Oneidas were here. The Menominee. A lot of prairie tribes in this area. Oh, kamas is a kind of wild lily. The Kalapoya used to cultivate it. In May they bloom, and they are just swaths of blue in the tender spring green. Oh, neat. I used to travel around the country with a Lakota gentleman teaching Native culture and history. We went to schools, nursing homes, and scout troops. Best time of my life many years ago. Oh, what a great experience, Barbara. Katie says, I've lived in 3 states, but all 3 of those states were pretty well known for the tribes and beliefs. So I've always been connected to the land as well as the spirits in the sky. My family is from Lebanon. I do not know much about Native American culture. Well, I think, you know, you could always like just find out about your local what's local to your area. That's what I've been trying to do, is connect with the tribes of the area. And I really want to reach out to them and talk to them about the spiritual journey that I'm on, and what my beliefs are. And not that I want to be like part of the tribe. I definitely don't want to insert myself into something that isn't my own, but I would like to maybe find out more information about how I can find out the best ways and best rituals for venerating the spirits of my land, So I'm gonna talk to them. Yes, Kat, 100%. I love that too. When Hailung invites the local native peoples to their opening ceremony, how beautiful is that, right? Because they're venerating the land. Hailung venerates the land no matter where they are. So when they do that, they're saying, hey, come teach us. And that's really what I'm talking about. I want to be taught if someone is willing to teach, I really do. Kelly lives outside of Philly. Okay. Well, you'll have to research that. I'm sure you have lots of different tribes over there. I know Chrissy knows quite a bit about the northeastern tribes. I could ask her. She might know more information. Being able to educate others and mix both beliefs. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. There was something else I wanted to show you guys. I don't know if you're interested in this or not, but we could talk about it a little bit. I have been reading this book, and maybe some of you have read this book, The Map of Consciousness Explained. The Map of Consciousness Explained. This is it's a very heady book. This isn't like a page turner. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It is a difficult read, but it's a good read. And on the back of the book it says, using a unique muscle-tested method, Dr. David R. Hawkins conducted more than 250,000 calibrations during 20 years of research to define a range of values, attitudes, and emotions that correspond to levels of consciousness. This range of values, along with a logarithmic scale of 1 to 1,000, became the map of consciousness, which Dr. Hawkins first wrote about in his best-selling book, Power versus Force, which I'm going to be reading next. With the map, Dr. David R. Hawkins laid out an entire spectrum of consciousness, from the lower levels or the low vibrations of shame, guilt, apathy, fear, and anger and pride, to courage, acceptance, and reason, all the way up to the more energy-filled fields, like love, ecstasy, peace, and enlightenment. These higher energy fields are a carrier wave of immense life energy. So I can bring up the screen here for you to see it. This is the map of consciousness. Oh, here, let me move this thing out of the way here. All right. Now maybe you can actually see it. But you'll notice, at the bottom, you've got the survival paradigms, which is shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. And then you've got the reason and integrity, which is where I think I am right now. And that is courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, and reason. And then I have moments of the spiritual paradigm, because if I'm being honest with myself, I cannot say that I am in a constant state of enlightenment, peace, joy, and love. All right. I have moments of these things. But am I in a pure consciousness state constantly? No, I'm not. And if you Yesterday on Katie's show, we were talking about opinions and how forming opinions kind of keeps us from reaching that constant state of in the spiritual paradigm, because forming opinions happen, from a place of, it can happen from a place of pride, a place of fear, so even if we're 50 to 60% of the time in the reason and integrity box, we are often dipping down into the survival paradigm, especially if we are spending a lot of time dwelling on the things that are happening in the world. Now, I'm not saying that we should completely ignore what's happening. We do need to understand what's going on, because we do, as Americans, or as people of the world even, need to speak out when we see things that are not right. Okay, when we see things that are unjust, or just plain criminal, we do need to be able to speak out about these things. But what I am saying is, we have to keep ourselves from being completely taken over by our emotions, by our fear. I mean, when we feel fear welling up, we really do need to try to get that under control. That is really hard to do. It's very easy to talk about it and say, oh yeah, just don't be afraid. Don't get angry. Don't feel apathy. Don't feel guilt or shame. But that's not how life works. So anyways, I'm reading this book in an attempt to try to understand how I can spend more time in the spiritual paradigm than I do any of the others, and it's been an interesting read, and it's been a journey of admitting my own fragility to myself, and dealing with that fragility. And it's hard. It's hard. There are days where I just want to give up, but I'm not going to. So basically, don't get sucked up in the matrix. Amen, sister. You are so right. Jules says it is difficult in this type of energy on this planet, but it is changing for the positive. It is. Everything that's happening had to happen. As hard as it is to watch and hard as it is for us to understand why, this is all leading to something better. I truly believe that. I believe that this is just it's like a pimple that's popping, So, yeah, that's just kind of how I feel. Katie says, if you're in a pure state of higher consciousness and enlightenment, you have finished your journey. Yes, you have learned all the lessons there is to learn. Right on. That's exactly right. Kat says, I exist around courage. Yeah, that's great. I think that I exist probably right now. I am existing in a state of acceptance and forgiveness. That is where I am spending the vast majority of my time, along with some reason. That's where I'm at. And I'm trying to love as much as possible. Did I make my moon water? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. 2 gallons of it. Kelly is, my goal is to be in love all the time, but I'm having a very hard time recently. I'm so grateful for my transplant, so I can focus on that. Yeah. Love is a lot of work, isn't it? Nobody ever said, love. Nobody ever said that love would be a constant. A constant state of you could fit love into a box and it would stay there neatly. No, love changes. Love changes over time, right? And a lot of times it grows and molds and matures, and sometimes it goes away. But every time I have some love in my life, I am so grateful. And I know you are too, Kelly. I am so grateful for any kind of love that's in my life. I don't expect perfection. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to think that people could be perfectly what you need them to be, right? That's ridiculous, right? But as long as there's that steady stream of I love you coming, I can keep going with it. We're given emotions for a reason. If you break down the word emotion, it goes like this: E equals energy, and motion means emotion is energy in motion. You don't want to stop. Just don't stay in it. That's exactly right. Teresa says, I think I drop into fear often because it was my set point for so long as a kid. Yes. The good news is then I laugh at myself, and that pops me higher than I was before the fear. Right on, girl. The other animals, I believe, are as sophisticated in emotion as we are in intellect. That's really true. I never thought of it that way, but yeah. It was very challenging for me to separate myself from the emotional experience of others. I have that issue too. Well, anybody who is empathic is going to have that challenge, right? It is impossible for me to, even with a perfect stranger, not be affected by their pain, especially their pain. I can kind of block out the anger, and I can block out anger, but when it comes to pain, that I have a harder time with. That is something I'm challenged with as well. Love is a verb. It takes all kinds of work. You got that right. Love is a choice we make every second. Yes. Yes. You got that right. Love is a universal element like gravity. For sure. That's a good approach. Laugh at anxiety. Yeah. Why do you think I laugh so much? No, I'm just kidding. No, actually, I'm not. I am hilarious because I start to believe this body is me. So silly. Right. Okay, girl. Now that is exactly where I've been at. That is exactly where I've been at. I was having so many big, giant, oh, woe is me's just because I've gone through so much. In the last 10 years, I've had 8 surgeries. I've had almost a surgery per year that has laid me up for a certain amount of time. Between my hysterectomy, my shoulder, and my knee, I've really had 3 years that have just been stolen from me. I can look at it that way, or I can look at it as, you know what? This gave me an opportunity to discover things about myself I didn't know. It gave me an opportunity to get to know you guys a lot better. It allowed me time to do so much research into things that I was interested in and find new things that I was interested in. So I can look at it as, yeah, there goes 3 years of my life. Or I can look at it as, yeah, I had 3 years of my life where I got to do all this amazing stuff, and that's what I'm going to choose to do. So there you go. You just have to make sure you're not codependent. Yeah, when it comes to love, for sure. Yeah. I forget often who I am and get upset and anxious about not important things. We all do that. You are not alone in that. Katie says, I can feel someone generally a block away when walking down the street. Negative energy makes me cross the street. Yeah, you're very empathic. I'm far too independent. I think I pull in those types. Yeah. Well, I'm super independent too. I get that. How many people here are the INFJ personality type? Or maybe Enneagram 4? Enneagram? Am I saying that right? 4? I feel like many of us are. I am I don't know what I am on as far as personality types go. I can describe it. I am a very, how do I explain myself? I'm good with people, but I don't necessarily want to be around a lot of people. I'm very introspective. Um, I am a very social, antisocial person. It, how do I explain that? People who are autistic, we often have a hard time. We often have a hard time understanding people. I know how to make people laugh. I know how to entertain people, but casual conversation, I'm not so good at. I'm just not so good at it. And I don't pick up on personal cues very well. So often I end up offending people when I don't really mean to. I'm just talking, you know? So yeah, yeah. 3 years of improving myself. Yeah, well, that's the way I'm choosing to look at it, because it's given me, I would have never had the opportunity to dive into the spirituality that I'm currently practicing had I not had the time to do this, right? So I feel like right now is just a time of big, giant growth. And with growth comes pain sometimes, and I've been experiencing that, but it's okay. I'm looking at this as being the greater good. The greater good is coming, right? And I feel like all you guys might be experiencing some of that too, especially in our current environment. The pain brings growth. That's how I'm looking at it. Katie says, when I had breast cancer, I had 6 surgeries in 2 years and my kidneys quit from a medication. Yeah, that sucks. Breast cancer is a bitch. I have a good family friend today, my friend Jovelyn, who is in surgery right now, right this moment. In fact, if you guys have any time to say a little prayer for her, I'd really appreciate that. Her name is Jovelyn. She has breast cancer. She's having a mastectomy today, and I'm hoping that like all the cancer is removed from her body, and she is just one heck of a lady. So I hope that hang on a second. Hello.
Hi, honey.
I'm still doing my live stream.
Oh.
I've got about 7 minutes. Are you on your way home?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see you. I'm going to be done in like 7 minutes. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Sorry.
That's okay. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
All right. I'll see you soon, honey.
Okay.
Okay. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
That was Chrissy. Can I ask you all to visualize me getting the perfect car for me at a good price? I have to get a car by Saturday. Yes, we will do that. I will say prayers about that too. Absolutely. Jules says, I choose to look at all the negative experiences so far as the best learning lessons. I have made me a stronger person for myself. Yes, Katie was the first person who like brought that to my attention, years ago already, where she was like, you need to stop looking at situations as mistakes and start looking at these things as lessons, as stepping stones to something better. It's only a mistake if you repeat it over and over and over again. But if you actually are learning your lesson, it is a lesson, and you need to be grateful for the lesson. So, yeah. Kat is the architect type. Architect. That's cool. Excuse me. I burped. Katie says, I don't know what my actual personality is, but I can tell you I'm an introvert who has been forced by life to become an extrovert. That's me too, Katie. Me too. I am one of those people who actually likes to be alone, who likes to be in my head, but a lot of people with autism are, people on the spectrum are, our biggest plans and ideas and visualization happens in our head, and it is really epic. it's really epic. So, so I tend to want to be in that, because it feels good there. I'm in control. I I have all these things going on, and then sometimes when I have to deal with the outside world, it's like, I don't want to be a part of that. But I heard somebody describe autism in a very unique way, and I have to agree with this. But, depending on the level of autism a person is experiencing, between somebody who's verbal like I am and able to communicate and somebody who is nonverbal, it's like our spirit is not directly aligned with our skin bag, the body that we possessed. It's just phased a little bit off. That's why so many of us have problems with our fine motor skills, and why sometimes we can't communicate, why our brain doesn't necessarily, or our spirit doesn't necessarily connect with our body, and why we go into our head so much, because it is in there we can control everything. But out here, we can't always control everything. Does that make sense? So, yeah. I'm talking about myself a lot today. I apologize for that, you guys. I must be coming off like real ego-y today, so please forgive me for that. All I know is I'm a spiritual being in a human body. Yes, me too. I was INTJ, but moved to INFP. I gotta find out. Where can I take a test on this, you guys? I want to take a test, and then I can tell you guys. Introverts unite! Alone. Organize for anarchy! Shadow work is solid. Oh, yes, I love doing shadow work. No, love is the wrong word. No, love is the right word. Love is the right word. It's a painful process, but it is so freeing. I highly recommend it for everybody. Growth usually has some pain because it's expansive and we're used to being smaller. Yeah. Right on. Okay, I am like so far behind, and we're getting close to the end here. I wish I had someone tell me that in my 20s. I tell my kids, and I hope it helps them rewire their thought process. And our youngest is done with 5th grade today. Oh, rock on. On to 6th grade. On to teenage years probably coming up too, right? Woo! If I could be anything, Teresa Ford says, I'd be a quantum computer. That sounds like a lovely life. See, I have never been tested, but that describes me. My beingness is slightly behind me and to the left. That's me too. Little left to center. That's what I always say. I don't know if the link I posted got posted, but it's an amazing interview. I don't know if it did either. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. All right, everybody's talking about their personality types. By sharing yourself, you share experiences and life lessons we all can learn from. So thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's very nice. I'm trying, I want to share what I'm learning with everybody. Look for a free Myers-Briggs personality test. Let me write this down. And then I'll put it on Discord what I am. MYERSBRIGGS. Okay. Yes and no, Katie. IQs don't measure, even though it's an intelligence quotient. Okay, that's what IQ is, right? It actually is testing your ability to creative problem solve. Okay, so it's not like knowledge based as much as it is, do you have the mechanics to be able to creatively solve this problem, And as you get older, because of fixed ideas, we tend to not be as out of the box as we were when we were younger, and our brain's capacity to absorb becomes a little less absorb, has a little less absorption, So it, I don't know about that. I don't know. Math is not my love language. Mine either. Okay. I would like, before we go, to pull a card for you guys. It's already 11:01, but I do want to pull a card. This will be the card for the rest of the week. All right. This is the Soul Coaching Oracle deck by Denise Lynn. Angels protect us. Spirits of the land and my home surround us, and ancestors, please give us wisdom. What do we need to know for the rest of this week? Please and thank you. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to pull this one right here. And it is opening. And it's a beautiful flower that has bloomed, that has opened up and bloomed. And I feel like, based on the Spirit must have been listening to our conversation today, you guys, because the feeling that I'm getting from this card is we have to, as part of our journey, we have to remember not to close our fists. Despite everything that's happening around us and all the crazy that's going on around us, we have to remember to keep our arms opened, not closed, to keep our fists open, our hands open, like we're reaching out and not like a fist. And that is like what I'm strongly feeling from Spirit right now. To try to keep we have to remember that even though we don't agree with all the people that are around us, even though we look at things and we say to ourselves, this is crazy, okay, there are a lot of people out there who are in pain, who are hurting, who are going through things right now. And for whatever reason, okay, our current administration speaks to them. It speaks to them. And that really should say something to us about the pain that they're going through, that they will accept this kind of thing, in hopes of deading that pain. Katie today, her card of the day was the death card. And I was like, this is absolutely perfect for what we're going through right now, because we are going to see the death of something and the rebirth of something else. And we're going to get to decide what that rebirth looks like. And we got to try to keep that in mind and hold our hands open as best as we can, Yeah. Jewel says, also keep in touch with Gaia. I have been in spinning spells since yesterday. Something from her is coming also. Okay. All right. I sort of think by allowing observations to land on the palm of my mind and flow off, if that makes sense. Oh, yes. Yes, I do get that. That is great. So, yeah, so that was the Soul Coaching Oracle by Denise Lynn, if you guys were interested in that. We learned yesterday in my live that opinions first require judgment. Yes, they do. But, we still are judging. We are. If we're commenting on anything that's on TV, and having conversations with people about what we're seeing and what we're doing, there's still judgment involved in that, right? Finding that way to not judge or have an opinion is really hard. That's something really hard. That's something I'm going to be like meditating on and focusing in on as something that I want to try to do, you know, because it's hard. That's a very difficult thing. Let's see. Like here in Canada, we have learned, because we almost put a negative person in power. We love you guys, sending continued prayers, love, and light. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatima. You know, and we pray for you too. You know, I love my Canadian neighbors, you know, and I love my Mexican neighbors too. You know, so on that note, it's 11:06, so I'm gonna end the stream right now. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and thank you for being here and having this amazing discussion. This was really great today, you guys. So, all right, have a good day.
Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. Dance around the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly needs a sandwich and a nap. I'll see you next time. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for coming. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Thank you for coming to my show. I'll see you all next time. You all rock. Dolly loves you. All rock. Dolly loves you. Dance the room. It's time to go. Why are you still here? Dolly, you still here? Have a great day.